I'll be explaining the Chinese comedy drama movie, How to Train Our Dragon, also called Five Sisters. Spoilers ahead. Jackson, a 6-year-old boy, has a crush on a classmate. He hands her a marriage license one day and requests her signature on it. When she declines, he offers her 2 movie tickets in exchange for her hand in marriage. She signs the documents but goes on a date with a different boy using the tickets. Jackson is overprotected by his 5 older sisters. They promise to keep him safe from women for the rest of their lives after witnessing his heartbreak. A 15-year time jump occurs in the action. Although Jackson has matured into a lovely guy, he lacks privacy from his sisters. His 5 sisters are also presented to us. Lily, the youngest, attends the same school as him. Then there is Violet, a participant in the archery group. Jackson is frequently forced to do what she wants by her using her skills. Heaven is the 3rd sister, a cybercriminal. To monitor her brother, she hacks into the school's security system. Melody, the 2nd eldest sibling, teaches at the high school Jackson attends. Sarah is the oldest of the group. She is the irritable person whom everyone fears. The daughters were left to care for one another and their brother when their parents divorced many years ago. Jackson grows weary of his sisters following him around at school one day. In order to assist him evade them, his pal designs him a camouflage costume. In an effort to blend in, Jackson ends up inside a girl's locker in the bathroom. But a fresh face named Meng discovers him and brings him to the Office of Academic Affairs. Jackson has no problem getting into trouble as long as his sisters are kept in the dark. He cautiously makes his way home from school, hoping that Melody, the 2nd eldest sister, wasn't alerted by the administration. He sighs in relief when no one brings up the day's events. But Melody quietly brings up the fact that he was discovered in the girls' locker area during supper. Everyone glances at Sarah, the oldest sister, who furiously turns red. They are dragging Jackson across the floor in the subsequent scene. He is asked what he was doing in the girls' locker room while being hanged upside down. In an effort to prevent him from having his heart shattered, the girls have barred him from talking to any girls. They believe the approach is best for Jackson even though it is a little severe. He doesn't share their opinions, though. Before pushing him to find a girlfriend who would equal all of his sister's enthusiasm, Sarah takes a moment to collect herself. Jackson is eager to take on the challenging work despite its difficulty. He creates a board the following morning announcing the need for a girlfriend. His friend advises him to speak with the new girl Meng because she seems like the kind of person who would like to assist everyone. Meng, are shown in a montage aiding others with things they don't actually require assistance with. Jackson accepts her as his girlfriend despite having no prior experience approaching women. As a result, his pal serves as his wingman and visits Meng to brag about Jackson. He outlines all the things his sisters have done to Jackson, referring to him as a victim of their abuse. Meng feels empathetic after hearing the tales. She approaches Jackson with the intention of becoming friends, but she decides against giving him a close inspection. Someone suddenly starts spreading rumors that a bear is attacking the students. Jackson tries to be the hero and save everyone, but it turns out that the bear is only a stuffed animal. He is pushed down the steps by even the toy, which places him in a hospital. In the next scene, Jackson awakens to see Meng by his side and himself in a hospital bed. He gets to spend more time with Meng despite the fact that his plan didn't turn out as he had hoped. Out of sympathy, she says that she wants to be his buddy. When Jackson's sisters finally show up, they start picking on him for not taking care of himself. Meng becomes enraged and tells them to stop. She presents herself as Jackson's girlfriend while the girls stare at her in disbelief. Jackson, who is ill, jerks in shock at the remark. His sisters ask him subtly if he actually has a girlfriend at home. He simply smirks and doesn't provide a clear response to their query. That is, until Sarah, the oldest sister, asks and he is forced to explain things to her. The sisters tie him up again and can't believe he found a girlfriend in a day. The girls don't buy Jackson's claim that it was love at first sight. Still, they make the decision to evaluate Meng's qualifications to see if she qualifies for their brother. The next day, Violet, Melody, and Lily arrive at the school as though it were a battlefield. Violet tries to use an arrow to shoot Meng while Jackson and Meng are together, but Jackson manages to dodge it just in time. Meng observes this and criticizes the girls for being mean. They confront each other while standing face to face. When Violet's approach fails, Lily resolves the situation on her own. She uses blackmail to compel all the attractive boys in the school to approach Meng and propose a date. Her attempt to change Meng's devotion to Jackson falls horribly flat. Jackson assists Meng in eluding the men. Violet spots them from the opposite side of the school and is about to fire again as they rush down the hallway. But this time, she unintentionally detonates an explosive that had just been thrown into the air. Thankfully, it generates an explosion in midair that doesn't hurt anyone. We observe a man in a chemistry lab making more explosives as everyone is perplexed as to what caused the explosion. Although his motivation is unknown, he appears to have spared Meng from Violet. Jackson and Meng head to the balcony to share popsicles after the catastrophe. Meng tells Jackson that she is his girlfriend because she believes his sisters are attempting to steal his organs, but Jackson discovers this. He chooses to keep her in the dark as long as he can, so he doesn't correct her. Lily and Violet awkwardly reveal their failure at home. Heaven, a skilled computer user, accepts the challenge of destroying Meng's reputation. She compiles sporadic CCTV images of Meng from the school and fabricates a story about how awful Meng is. The power goes out just as she is about to upload it online. The chemistry lab employee can be seen standing in front of their home. He is the one who turned off the power to save Meng, although it is still unclear what his genuine objectives are. The three unsuccessful sisters bow down in front of Melody, the second oldest sister, inside the home. She is now in charge of getting rid of Meng. She challenges Meng to a sporting event the next day. They compete against one another in a goldfish gathering task and a staring contest. Melody triumphs in both situations and puts Meng in her place. When Sarah, the oldest sister, arrives, they are going to participate in a final round. She introduces herself and then challenges Meng to a hammer throw competition. They must launch a large metal ball as far as they can. Sarah levitates the ball in midair using her prodigious skills. She takes another ball from the stand and prepares to toss when it is her turn. The ball suddenly pops open, exposing that it was spiked with an explosive that is poised to detonate. When Meng notices this, she grabs the ball from Sarah and discards it. Sarah learns that her life was saved as it explodes. The other sisters begin to appreciate her as well as she grows to like Meng. Jackson thanks God for bringing Meng into his life as he runs around the field. A montage of Jackson and Meng enjoying time together follows the scene. After several dates, they decide to stop being a pretend couple and become a genuine one. They enjoy each other more and more as they learn more about one another. They spend the night together on a deserted beach during one of their romantic outings. They embrace and playfully battle each other in the morning. The chemist guy has been watching them during the entire time. His indignation over the hug causes him to hold back from acting at the moment. The youngest sister Lily and Jackson are together at school the following day. Lily takes out a lunchbox that contains an explosion. A loud explosion shocks the entire school at once. Jackson is all right, but Lily needs CPR in order to regain consciousness. Thank goodness, there was simply a chemical explosion, and nobody was hurt. Jackson and his sisters are huddling together in terror when Meng spots them and understands how much they care for one another. Jackson is pursuing her as she leaves the area. As they collide, Meng entirely disregards him and the possibility that he might have passed already earlier. Jackson is bewildered and inconsolable, but he doesn't inquire as to what is wrong. In actuality, Meng has discovered that Jackson and his sisters have only experienced terrible luck since she began dating him. She chooses to avoid them since she believes that she brings a negative omen into their lives. She ignores Jackson's frequent attempts to speak with her. In the town one night, it pours heavily. When Jackson learns about the flooded streets in the news, he is already at home. He recalls that when he last saw Meng, she was inside the school waiting for the rain to stop. She is having difficulty standing up due to the rain when he arrives at school after rushing there. Jackson hugs Meng and begs her to be her usual self, but she pushes him away grudgingly. It turns out that she is due to change schools once more and requests that he avoid her during that time. A hurt Jackson spends the entire night in the rain. He hears someone approaching him from behind in the morning. He gives them a hug thinking they are Meng. Yet up until now, the man has been the one making the explosives. He touches Jackson and abducts him. The school throws a party that night. Meng pouts in a corner as everyone else enjoys the live music and entertainment. Jackson's absence has caused tension among the sisters. They make every effort to apprehend him and discover that his phone is nearby. A mysterious man in a mask takes the stage after a fireworks display. It is he who has Jackson chained to a rocket that he says is set to take off, according to the abductor. When questioned about the motivation behind his hate speech, he admits that he is unnoticed by anyone and has no friends. Meng immediately captured his heart, and he was never far from her. Although he protected her from Jackson's sisters, Meng still had Jackson as her only true love. He is therefore coming to exact revenge on Jackson for stealing his one source of happiness. Many of Jackson's pals, including Meng and the sisters, work hard to keep the rocket in place. Despite their success, it only ceases for a brief period of time. Jackson says he loves Meng so much before taking off. He finally launches into the air and perishes in the explosion that follows. The next scene shows Meng standing in front of a grave. She blesses it and presents it with flowers. Jackson suddenly bursts into the picture, indicating that he was only hurt in the most recent accident and is otherwise in fine health. The grave belongs to Meng's mother, who passed away many years ago. The sisters appear in the final scene and continue to bother Jackson as usual. Thank you.